On Christmas morning, my husband handed our kids new tablets and handed me divorce papers. He did it in matching pajamas, in front of both our families, under a tree I decorated, in a house I helped him buy. He even smiled for the camera while I opened the envelope. Before I tell you how I turned his "Merry Christmas, sign these" into him crying in his mother's guest room while I kept the house, the car, and my peace, let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And if anyone has ever tried to push you out of a life you were actually holding together, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this is a story about cheating, shame, and what happens when the quiet wife stops playing along. My name is Kayla Brooks. I am 34 years old, I live outside Atlanta, and I am an operations manager, which is a fancy way of saying I make broken systems work. I make chaos behave. At work, that means I fix processes, projects, and budgets. At home, it meant I was always fixing everything my husband broke, from the leaking dishwasher to our marriage. Well, I thought I was fixing it. Turns out I was just patching holes while he drilled new ones behind my back. I met Derek when I was 22 and still believed that chemistry could overrule common sense. He was 3 years older, loud where I was quiet, charming where I was careful. We met at a friend's ugly Christmas sweater party, actually. He was wearing a reindeer with blinking lights. I was in a simple red dress, holding a ginger ale, trying not to suffocate under everyone's perfume. "I am taking that one," he told our mutual friend, nodding at me. "The one looking like she is judging all of us." I was not judging. I was planning my exit route. He cut through the crowd like he owned the room, leaned against the counter near me, and said, "Why do you look like you would rather be in a spreadsheet than at this party?" I blinked. "Because I would?" He laughed so hard people turned to look. "You are honest. I like that." He was golden, white teeth, warm brown skin, that swagger people confuse with confidence. I was not golden. I was the second child of a teacher and a postal worker, raised on coupons and caution. He sold software back then. He could talk anyone into anything, including me. We dated for 3 years, got married at 25 and 28, bought a little starter house with beige walls and scratchy carpet. We were broke, but it was the good kind of broke. Ramen together on the couch, laughing about our neighbor's loud dog, planning the dream home we would have one day. Derek used to bring home sticky notes from work with little sketches of rooms. "Imagine this, Kay," he would say. "Vaulted ceilings, a kitchen island as big as this whole apartment, Christmas lights outside, and one of those video projectors for Halloween." I kept those notes in a shoebox. I did not know I would eventually sign my name next to his on real documents and still be told, "This is my house." We climbed slowly. I got promoted twice. He did too. He started wearing better watches. I started wearing stress on my shoulders. We had our son, Malachi, and our daughter, Nia. 2 names I had loved since middle school that he pretended he came up with. We moved into our current house, 4 bedrooms, brick front, cul-de-sac, good schools. I loved that house like a third child. I knew the way the light moved across the living room. I knew which floorboard creaked at 2 in the morning. I knew exactly how much our mortgage cost, down to the cent, because I was the one making the payments. The day we closed, Derek kissed my forehead in the parking lot. "We did it," he said, "our forever home." Later, I would find out that forever, to him, meant, until I am done using you to get there. Here is a fun mistake to add to the list of things I will never do again. I let my husband talk me into putting the house only in his name. "Babe, listen," he said, while I stared at the stack of papers. "The lender said it is cleaner this way because of your student loans. My credit score is higher. Once we build more equity, we can always add you later." I hesitated. My mother and father had always warned us about paperwork. They bought nothing without both their names printed on it in bold. "Are you sure?" I asked. "I am still paying half." "More than half right now," he said. "Which is why this works. We know what is real. It is just paper. We are a team." I was 29 and still believed that. I signed my parts. He signed his. The deed said only Derek Brooks. I pointed at it. That is weird, I said. It should say both. He shrugged. Again, that is how they structured it. We are married. Once my raise hits, I will refinance and put you on. Promise. Promise. That word feels like dry paper in my mouth now. We had good years, to be fair. I am not going to lie and pretend it was all fights and red flags. That is not how most marriages break. It was small things over time. The way he started taking his phone into the bathroom. The way he said your kids when they were loud instead of our kids. The way he forgot our anniversary but remembered to post his colleagues' birthdays on Instagram. And then there was the, if you go looking for something, you will find something talk. It was a Tuesday in October when I found the first real piece of evidence. The kids were at my mother's house. Derek had gone to watch the game with friends. I was cleaning up the kitchen when his laptop chimed. He never logged out of anything on that laptop. I wiped my hands, intending to just close the lid so it did not overheat. Then I saw her name, Serena. I knew her vaguely. She was the new marketing manager at his company. Thin, bright, always in bright lipstick at the company picnic. The message on the screen read, Serena, just got home. Next time you are booking the room closer to the elevator, my feet are done. I froze. Another message came in before I could move. Serena. Also, you left your tie. Again. If Kayla finds a random tie, that is on you. A blood rush filled my ears. I clicked the message thread with shaking hands. I scrolled. It was all there. Messages about lunches that were not on any calendar, pictures in hotel rooms, complaints about me, about how Kayla only cares about schedules and budgets, about how I make everything a project. It was like being slapped in the face with a script that had my name on it, written by someone who had never actually talked to me. My stomach lurched. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back, I took screenshots of everything. Then I closed the laptop and sat at the table until Derek came home. He walked in smelling like bar food and cologne, humming. Hey, babe, he said, kissing my cheek casually. You all right? You look pale. I saw your messages, I said. He stopped humming. What? The messages with Serena. His eyes flickered just for a second. Then he laughed. Actually laughed. Are you serious right now? He said. Were you snooping again? You know, if you continue to nose around looking for things that are not real, eventually you will find something to be mad about. That does not mean it is real. He sat at the table, took off his shoes like this was normal. Derek, I said, my voice shaking. She sent you hotel room numbers. He sighed. Long drama. We had to host a client, Kayla. You know how it is. Serena booked the rooms under her name because she gets the corporate discount. Nothing happened. You really think I would risk my family for some work girl? Yes, I thought. That is exactly what I think. He saw my face and leaned forward. Look at me, he said. Look at me. I love you. I love our kids. You are my wife. You are reading into stupid chats because you are insecure. Those messages are jokes. Jokes. I saw those pictures. They were not jokes. But here is one thing about being a woman raised to doubt her own instincts. You can have a whole crime scene in front of you and still wonder if you are overreacting. I did not yell. I cried. He hugged me, stroked my hair, told me I was the only one. And then, later, when I went to my mother's with red eyes, she said the line that would circle my brain for weeks. Real women stay, Kayla. They do not divorce over a few messages. Marriage is not some Instagram story you delete when you get bored. She said it with love. That is what made it worse. My mother had stayed with my father through subtle cheating, loud cheating, long disappearances, and one secret second phone she found in the dryer. She stayed until the day he died. She brought all that into my kitchen when I told her about Serena. Your father put me through hell, she said, stirring sugar into her tea like she was mixing concrete. But he came home. He always came home. Staying gave you and your brother stability. That is what matters. Mom, I whispered. He is lying to me. He is sleeping with someone else." She looked tired, older than I was used to seeing her. "All I am saying is, do not blow up your life over screenshots," she said. "Men have phases. If he is paying bills, taking care of the kids, real women stay. They fight for their marriage." "Did you ever want to leave?" I asked. She looked at the wall. "Every Friday," she said. "But I stayed because I thought that is what real women do." I went home that night with more confusion than when I left. I lay in bed next to a man who was texting another woman under the covers and thought, maybe this is what my mother meant. Maybe this is just normal. That feeling lasted exactly 4 days. Then I saw the messages where he called me a controlling nag who would not leave even if I begged her to. Funny how fast real women stay can turn into watch this. I did not throw him out that week. I did not even confront him again. I did something worse. I went quiet. And I started planning. You see, for years, Derek had told me I was just good at logistics. Like that was an insult. He forgot that logistics wins wars. First, I called a lawyer. A woman in her 40s named Angela, recommended by one of my colleagues who had survived her own messy divorce. I sat in that small office with its worn gray chairs and a framed picture of Angela with her kids at the beach and told her everything. "I am not sure I even want a divorce yet," I said, "but I need to know what happens if he leaves first." Angela listened without interrupting, tapping notes on her tablet. When I finished, she pushed her glasses up and said, "Okay, let us strip the emotion out for a second and look at the facts." She made me list. My salary, his salary, who handled the childcare, who made the down payment, how the house was titled, who paid which bills. Then she said the line that changed everything. "Kayla, even if the deed is in his name, this is a marital asset. You have been paying the mortgage, the utilities, the maintenance. You are the primary parent. He does not get to just throw you out and keep the house because his name is on one piece of paper." "But he keeps saying it is his house," I murmured. She actually smiled, a little sad. "Men say a lot of things that are not legally true," she said. "Here is what will matter if this goes to court. Documentation. Proof he cheated. Proof you contributed. Proof of his threats if you can get them." She handed me a folder. "In this folder," she said, "is a list of things you should quietly gather. Bank statements, screenshots, a timeline. Do not move out. Do not sign anything he gives you without someone like me looking at it first. And if he blindsides you on a holiday," she looked me straight in the eye, "do not react emotionally. Just say, 'My lawyer will be in touch.'" "Do you think he will blindside me?" I asked. She shrugged. "Cheaters crave control. Holidays are big stages." I laughed it off then. Later, I would wonder if she had a crystal ball. The weeks before Christmas were a strange mix of cozy and cold. On the surface, nothing changed. We took the kids to pick out a tree. Derek hung lights on the roof while I stood on the lawn, hands on hips, pretending not to be terrified he would fall. We took a picture in matching pajamas that racked up hundreds of likes on his page. He captioned it, "Grateful for my beautiful family. Would not be here without my queen." Underneath that, in his hidden message thread, he told Serena, "I feel like such a liar posting this crap, but you know how it is. After Christmas, I will fix it." Fix it, like our marriage was a leaky faucet and his mistress was a plumber. I read that message in the dark, the blue light of my phone making our bedroom feel like a stranger's house. I stared at his sleeping face and thought, I am not going to scream. I am not going to beg. I am going to let him put his plan on paper, and then I am going to edit it. I spent evenings doing what I do best, organizing. Not the pantry, not the kids' closets, my escape. I opened a separate checking account in my name only and had my direct deposit rerouted. From that account, I quietly paid my car note and started putting aside extra money whenever I could. I printed a full year of bank and credit card statements. I highlighted hotel charges, dinners, random flower purchases. I printed the text messages and email confirmations with Serena's name on them, redacting her last name in case anyone mishandled them later. Angela had told me, "Think like you are building a case, even if you never go to full trial. A strong case equals strong settlement." So I built. On the outside, I was the same Kayla, packing school lunches, sending out Christmas cards, wrapping gifts. On the inside, I was a woman quietly moving every valuable thing out of a burning house before the man who set it on fire realized the flames were not where he thought. Derek was more attentive in those weeks than he had been in months. Guilty people love grand gestures. He brought home takeout on random Wednesdays. He started Insta-storying me cooking, adding heart emojis. He held my hand in the car. He bought me a bracelet the week before Christmas with our kids' initials. "This is for my woman who holds us all together," he said, fastening it on my wrist. Serena texted him that night. "Serena, did you really buy her jewelry? That feels cruel." Derek, "It is just part of the show. After Christmas, we are done playing house." I screenshotted that line twice, just to make sure it did not disappear. Zah. Christmas morning dawned unreasonably beautiful. Sunlight bounced off frost on the lawn. Santa had been up until 2 in the morning assembling a dollhouse and a race car track. I made cinnamon rolls. The smell curled through the house, sticky and sweet, like the lie we were living. My mother arrived first, carrying sweet potato pie and judgment. Derek's mother arrived next, wearing a red dress and enough perfume to fumigate the hallway. His brother and his girlfriend came. My cousin and her kids came. The house was full, loud, warm. I stood in the kitchen doorway, watching my family unpack gifts and opinions. Then Derek called us all into the living room. All right, he said, clapping. "Santa has some presents." The kids shrieked. They opened Lego sets, art supplies, those tablets they had been begging for. I watched their faces light up, memorizing them. I knew this Christmas would mark a before and after in their lives. I did not want the after to destroy the before. Finally, when the kids were knee-deep in wrapping paper, Derek reached under the tree and pulled out a slim rectangular box. He turned to me with that same stage-ready smile. "This one is for my wife," he said. Phones pointed at us. My mother smiled. His mother hummed "Here Comes the Bride" under her breath like that was funny. I took the box. The paper was thick. The bow was perfect. I opened it. Inside was another box, white, with the logo of a local law firm embossed on top. My stomach dropped. I opened the lid. There it was. A neat stack of papers clipped together. At the top, petition for divorce. My name. His name. My hands went cold. For a second, I did not hear anything. The room blurred. The sound of children shouting and adults laughing faded. I stared at my own name on a document I had not written. He had already filled in terms. He had already signed. The last page was a separation agreement. It offered me the minivan, a small amount of monthly support temporarily. A vague promise to contribute to the kids' activities. The house? His. The rental property we had invested in together? His. The language was oily. To avoid disruption to the children, it is in the best interest of all parties that Derek retain the marital home. He had even added a clause about non-disparagement on social media. He leaned in as my eyes raced over the words. "Sign them after brunch," he whispered, lips still smiling for the cameras. "Do not make this ugly. The house is in my name. Think of the kids." I looked up. Everyone was watching. "What did he get you?" his mother called out, laughing. "A vacation?" my cousin asked. "Come on, Kayla, show us," my mother said. I closed the folder. I placed the lid back on the box. I smiled. "It is paperwork," I said. "We will talk about it later." Derek, confused, tried to search my face for the meltdown he expected. It was not there. Inside, I was screaming. Outside, I was calm, because I had planned for this. We ate brunch. People posted boomerangs of mimosas and pancakes. My kids showed off their new tablets. My mother asked my cousin about her boyfriend. Derek talked football with his brother like he had not just detonated a bomb in the middle of our lives. I sat there, chewing, nodding, occasionally saying things like, "pass the syrup," while my brain sorted through Angela's folder. Do not sign anything. Do not move out. Get witnesses. Get proof. He thinks he has control because he went first. You still have your move. When the kids ran off to the playroom, I stood up. "Can I say something?" I asked. Conversations quieted. Heads turned. Derek frowned. "Kayla, maybe now is not—" I held up a hand. "This will be quick," I said, "and then you can go back to eating." I looked around the room. "You all know me," I said. "You know I am not a person who likes scenes. I am the one who refills your drinks and takes your coats and makes sure there are enough chairs." A few people chuckled softly. "This morning my husband gave me a gift," I continued. "It was divorce papers." Silence. Forks froze. Eyes widened. My mother put a hand to her chest. His mother said, "What?" a little too loudly. Derek tried to grab my arm. "Kayla," he hissed. "This is not the time." I gently removed his hand. "You did not ask me if it was the time," I said, "when you handed me legal documents in front of our children." I turned to his mother first. "It says," I read from the copy I had now pulled from the folder, "to avoid disruption, Derek will retain the marital home. It also says I will not disparage him publicly." I looked up. "I am not going to disparage anyone," I said. "Not here. My children do not need that memory, but I am also not going to be bullied into signing away the life I built. So, for clarity, I am not agreeing to any of this today. My lawyer," I felt him flinch at that word, "will respond after the holidays." His mother's eyes flew to his. "Lawyer?" she repeated. "What is she talking about?" Derek was red now. "Kay, you are overreacting," he said louder. "I was trying to do this peacefully. That paperwork represents months of me trying to make sure you and the kids are taken care of. You should be grateful." Grateful. There it was again. I almost laughed. Instead, I took a slow breath. "After we finish eating," I said, "I would like my mother and your mother to come upstairs with me. I have some information that will explain why you felt the need to plan this behind my back." He lunged forward. "You are not going to drag my name through the mud in front of my mother," he snapped. "Your behavior did that," I said calmly. "Not me." There is a kind of silence that tastes like metal. That is what filled the room. His brother looked uncomfortable. My cousin picked at her napkin. My mother looked at me like she was seeing me clearly for the first time. Then she nodded. "I am full," she said, standing. "We can talk upstairs." We went to our bedroom. My mother, his mother, me. Derek tried to follow. I turned at the door. "You can come in," I said, "if you are ready to hear and see the truth without lying your way through it." He stopped. Cowards like control. They do not like witnesses. He stayed in the hallway. I closed the door. My mother sat on the edge of the bed. His mother stood with her arms folded, defensive already. "Well?" she demanded. "What is all this?" I opened my laptop. "First," I said, keeping my voice steady, "I want to be clear. I did not go looking for this. It fell into my lap when his laptop chimed one night. But once I saw it, I could not unsee it." I clicked into the folder labeled Receipts. There, neatly time-stamped, were months of messages between Derek and Serena. Hotel details. "After Christmas, we can finally be together. I told Kayla I am just stressed from work. I feel like such a liar posting these family photos." His mother stepped closer. This could be fake," she said weakly. "Anyone can edit a screenshot." I clicked on a video. Derek, in a hotel room, laughed into the camera and said, "If Kayla saw this, she would kill me. You look too good in that dress." Serena, off camera, "Then you better sign those papers soon." I paused the video. My mother exhaled sharply. His mother sat down hard in the chair by the dresser. I scrolled. Here was the message where he told Serena, My wife will not leave even if I begged her to. She needs me too much. Here was the message where she replied, "Make sure you get a good agreement. She should be grateful for whatever you offer. She did not help you build any of this." I opened a spreadsheet. "These," I said, "are the bank statements for the last year. Here is my direct deposit going in. Here is my debit card paying the mortgage. The utilities, groceries. Here is his card at restaurants and hotels that are very clearly not client meetings." My mother put her face in her hands. His mother stared at the screen, then at the walls, like the house itself might fall down. "Kayla," my mother said, lifting her head, voice rough, "why did you not tell me it was this bad?" I swallowed. "I tried," I said. "I told you about messages. You told me real women stay." She flinched like I had smacked her. I did not know he was—" "You have children together," she said. "I thought it was flirting. I stayed with your father because I thought it made me strong." "I do not want that for you if this is what it is." His mother finally spoke, voice sharp. "You hacked my son," she accused. "No," I said. "He left his life open on a shared laptop in a house we share. I have not shared any of this with anyone outside this room and my attorney. Derek put his plan on paper and handed it to me like a Christmas card. I am just matching his energy." I clicked the laptop closed. "I am not here to tear him down to you," I said. "I am here so when he tries to tell you I am being greedy, you know the full picture. I am not leaving this house empty-handed. I am not signing away my children's stability, and I am definitely not keeping his secrets while he serves me divorce papers in matching pajamas." My mother nodded slowly. "You do what you need to do," she said. "You do not have to stay this time." It was a simple sentence. But hearing my mother, Miss Real Women Stay, say, "You do not have to stay this time," felt like someone had unlocked a door inside my chest. His mother put her head in her hands. "I raised him better," she whispered. I did not answer. I wish I could tell you Derek apologized that day, dropped to his knees, begged for forgiveness. He did not. He spent the rest of Christmas sulking in the living room, telling anyone who would listen that I had overreacted and embarrassed him. He slept in the guest room that night. I slept like a woman who had finally decided that her survival mattered more than someone else's comfort. The day after Christmas, I dropped the kids at my mother's and drove to Angela's office. I put the divorce papers on her desk. "He served me on Christmas," I said. She raised an eyebrow. "He really did use a holiday," she murmured. "They love a dramatic exit." I slid the folder of screenshots across. "Well," she said, flipping through them, "he is about to have a dramatic settlement instead. I am not going to bore you with every detail of the legal process. It is slow. It is messy. It is like untangling a ball of yarn that has been soaked and dried 3 times. But here is what mattered. 1, I had proof, not just emotional proof, actual proof, that he had been unfaithful and that he had tried to push me out with an unfair agreement. 2, I had documentation of my contributions, statements, receipts, even old emails where he said things like, "Kayla is the one who keeps this whole show on the road." 3, I refused to move out. When he realized I was not signing his pretty little Christmas present, he tried a different tactic. "You know what, Kayla?" he said one night, standing in the kitchen doorway like a stranger. "You can have the minivan. I will find an apartment, but I am not giving up the house. I worked too hard for this." I looked at him. "I worked for it too," I said, "and the court is going to see that. You can move out if you want, but I am not going anywhere until this is done." "You are going to drag me through court?" he sneered. "After everything I have done for you?" "Do you mean paying 1/3 of the bills while I paid 2/3 and raised your children?" I asked. "Or do you mean the cheating?" He glared. "You are going to regret this," he said. I already regretted marrying you, I thought. Everything after that is just cleanup. Months slid by. Depositions, mediations. At one point, his lawyer suggested we keep the adultery angle out of it to avoid inflaming things. Angela laughed. "He hand-delivered divorce papers on Christmas Day," she said. "Things are already inflamed." I did not ask for more than I deserved. I did not try to take his kidneys and his eyelashes like some people advised in my group chat. I asked for equity in the house we bought together, a share of his retirement account, documented child support, and majority custody with a clear visitation schedule. He wanted 50-50 custody with no child support and both properties. He also wanted me gagged from telling my story online. "You have a YouTube account," he scoffed in one meeting. "I know how women do now. Story time this, trauma that. You are not going to go online and make me look like a monster." I wanted to say, "You did that to yourself." Instead, I stayed polite. "I have no intention of using my children's pain for views," I said. "But I am also not signing away my right to share my own story in vague terms if I want to. If you did not want to end up in a story time, you should have behaved like a husband, not a villain." His lawyer blinked. Angela hid a smile behind her folder. In the end, he caved. Why? Because men like Derek cannot stand the idea of their image being publicly dismantled. Because the evidence was bad for him. Because Angela was better at her job than his lawyer. And because, deep down, he thought I would fold like the version of me he had in his head. When I did not, he realized he was not prepared to fight the actual me. We settled in mediation. I got the house. Primary physical custody of the kids, monthly child support, and a modest amount of spousal support for 2 years so I could fully adjust. A share of his retirement account. He got the rental property, his car, the right to tell his friends whatever story helped him sleep at night. The day we signed, he looked at me across the conference table. "I cannot believe you did all this," he said. "Over some messages." Over some messages. I thought of the hotel rooms, the messages, the envelope with the red bow. I thought of my mother sitting on my bed and saying, "You do not have to stay this time." "No," I said quietly. "I did all this because you handed me divorce papers on Christmas morning and expected me to say thank you." The first night he moved out, the house felt too big. There is this lie people tell that once you leave a bad man, everything feels instantly peaceful and light. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it just feels quiet and weird and too full of echoes. I tucked the kids in. We had started therapy together, kid-friendly sessions that helped them understand that none of this was their fault. "Is Daddy still mad?" Malachi asked. "No, baby," I said, brushing hair off his forehead. "Daddy is not mad. Daddy just made some choices that mean he lives in a different house now. But he loves you. I love you. That is what matters." Naya hugged her stuffed rabbit. "Are we going to have Christmas here next time?" she asked. "Or at Grandma's?" "Here," I said. "Right here. We are not going anywhere." She smiled, small but real. I went downstairs after they slept. The tree was gone. The living room was back to normal. I sat on the couch with a mug of tea and listened. No second toothbrush in the bathroom, no male shoes by the door, just the hum of the fridge and the soft tick of the clock. I realized I could breathe deeper than I had in months. My mother and I had our own reckoning. We sat at her kitchen table one Sunday afternoon, sweet tea sweating onto coaster rings. "I am sorry," she said suddenly. I looked up from my cup. "For what?" I asked. "For telling you real women stay," she said. "For pushing you to hold on to something that was killing you." Her eyes were shiny. "I stayed with your father because I did not know I had choices," she said. "I did not want you to think that was the only way to be strong, but I put that on you anyway." I reached across the table and took her hand. "You were doing the best you could with what you knew," I said. "So am I. The difference is I know a little more now." She squeezed my hand. "Real women leave when they are not loved," she said softly. "That is what I should have told you." I smiled. "I figured it out," I said. "Eventually." "And Derek?" "Last I heard, he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment near his office." Serena did not last long. Their situationship fell apart when she realized weekends with someone else's kids were not as fun as hotel sheets and sneaky brunches. He still posts occasionally, gym selfies, pictures from nights out, the occasional throwback of the kids with captions like, "Daddy misses you." Sometimes he posts about bitter women who take men for everything. I do not respond. I do not need to. My life speaks louder. It has been almost a year since that Christmas. I'm filming this on Christmas Eve, actually. The tree is up in the corner of the living room. There is a string of popcorn the kids made wrapped around it. The ornaments are unmatched and perfect. There is a pile of gifts under the tree that I wrapped myself. No hidden law firm logos this time. My cinnamon rolls are in the fridge waiting to be baked in the morning. This house is quiet, safe, and mine. I do not wear the bracelet he bought me last year anymore. I gave it to my daughter for dress-up. To her, it is just a shiny thing. To me, it was a symbol I needed to shed. On my wrist now is something different, a small tattoo of a key, a reminder that I hold the keys to my peace now. No one else gets to tell me when to stay or when to go. If you are still here with me, thank you for listening. If you are watching this on your phone in a bathroom somewhere, wondering if the screenshots in your hand are enough to justify leaving, hear me. You are not crazy for wanting more than disrespect. You are not dramatic for feeling betrayed by just messages. You are not a failure for choosing yourself. And you are definitely not less of a real woman because you refuse to stay where you are not cherished. Real women stay where they are loved. Real women also leave when they are not. Drop a comment and tell me where you are watching from. If this story hit a nerve or gave you a little bit of courage, tap that like button and subscribe. And most importantly, do not sign anything just because someone handed it to you with a bow. Read it. Question it. Get advice. You are not a guest in your own life. You helped build that tree, that house, that family. Act like it.